Hey guys, MeerHut here, coming to you today from the NeverCraft server, where today we have a meeting on the, what's it called, the Maelstrom situation, the Maelstrom Dilemma. Depends on, who you're talking to at the time, what they want to call it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to that meeting, and then leave your ideas on what you think about it in the comments below, okay? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on the road to 700, where we'll have another giveaway.
So hey, Marky, glad you finally made it. I've been waiting, a little bit of time. So, what do you
Good
got for us?
science takes a while.
Yeah. So we have the mighty MeerHut here, and
Hello.
Twisha and
Hello.
Markisparki, and I guess you guys are the ones that are going to be, giving the presentation, right?
Exactly. So 2 months ago, you ordered us here to start the investigation on what you call the Maelstrom. And since then, we have been working and studying what you call the Maelstrom all over our world here. And it is finally time that we present to you the results that we have. And as shocking as the results might be, it is very important that we take this matter seriously and that we talk about everything today.
Okay.
To help
So,
to help me in all the scientific stuff, I actually got me a partner here, which is Dr. T.W. Icha over there. She is an laboratory expert and helped me with all the field studies.
okay, cool.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Before that, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Do you have any questions before we start the actual presentation?
Oh, no, man, go
I
ahead.
actually do have a question.
Yes, yes.
You said twice now what we call the Maelstrom. What in fact do you call it?
Well, we adapted that name, so it is
Okay.
called the Maelstrom.
Okay.
Yeah, so today
Uh,
we want to talk about the Maelstrom Dilemma, and in the end, you will see why this actually does present a dilemma to us. So here, um, actually, what we found, and I will make this quite short because I mean all the scientific stuff. Who cares about that, right? What we can for sure say now is that the Maelstrom or the Maelstrom Matter, as we call it now, everything that appears red and is transforming all the grass, all the lush grass on our world, to this very red matter, we call that the Maelstrom Matter, that this is probably not from this world. All our measurements indicate that this is some kind of alien matter
Hmm.
that was transported here. We cannot for sure say how this got here. We can just like measure what it does to our world and see all its effects on what we have here on our world.
Hmm.
And yeah, so let's say that stuff is of alien nature. My partner here, Dr. T.W. Icha, can confirm this with all her measurements.
Right, so we did do some measurements of the characteristic radiation, and we can say that those kinds of materials do not naturally occur on this planet, so it must have come from somewhere else.
Yep. We can, however, say that it is closely related to what we would call fungi here on our world. So this you can see here on the next slide is, well, yeah, its basic characteristics closely are related to what we call a fungus. Yeah. So what you can see on the floor, the red matter, all these infestations is like a mushroom, you could say. And underneath, there are actually there is a huge network of mycelium, and we have detected that all over our world already.
Hmm.
And this is the very, very shocking matter that we have to tell you today. And also, what I can tell you, like from a biological aspect, this stuff being closely related to a fungus does actually reproduce asexually, which means that you can spread that very, very easily, and it reproduces via spores. And we think since this whole thing started here at your base spectrum, we think that you might actually be the one that spread that stuff.
so like basically
Simply by
everywhere.
having it on your feet and on your clothes, and you walked around the whole world and you spread the spores, and yeah, the spores.
So,
Yeah,
so we're
trigger
blaming
like
Spectrum.
the
It's all his
infestation.
fault.
It's all Spectrum's fault now.
Well,
Okay.
it's not his fault since he didn't know about it, right?
Yeah. So you're saying I'm
Let's
patient zero. I'm patient zero then, basically.
you could say that, yeah. But please let's keep this scientific and not accuse anybody of anything here. This is a very pressing matter, and we have to react accordingly.
I have a very important question though.
Yes, please.
Is it the Maelstrom Dilemma or is it the Maelstrom Matter?
Well, the matter, like the material is what we call what is on the floor, what you can find there. It all presents like a dilemma for us.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And yeah, as soon as you have all these spores around, then you get these infestations, and we actually found them all over the world in what we call here the shopping district, the gaming district, and actually at some other habitant spaces even. Yeah.
Whose base is that?
Well, some guy called Markisparki just told me about that, for example. Yeah, and I mean, we have examined all these infestation pits, and Dr. T.W. Icha will talk about the 3 different stages of growth that we have observed.
Yeah, so the first stage you can see also on the first slide. So everything that's green vegetation will turn to a grayish, brownish color at first, only small spots, not very noticeable. What I can also tell you is that everything that's surrounded by those spots, you can also measure fluctuations in the radiation there. So it's already infected, but you cannot see it yet. The second stage, you can see it on the next slide, then suddenly red spots appear. Everything that's green will die and turn into red spots. So this is actually dead material. No plants and nothing can grow on there. You can also see that the fungus presents on the surface. Those are those red dots that appear from the surface. And in the third stage, you can see that all of those little spots grow together to one big red dead surface. It also starts to glow and burn, and everything is dead there. And you can see also that you have everything that was a plant before now
Well,
is
it basically
infectious
dies
as
off,
well.
right?
It
basically
evaporates and
dies.
then it infects everything that's around, and it also gets airborne. So you really have to be careful with everything that's connected to airflow and wind, and it will spread rapidly from a third stage on.
Yeah. And here on the final stage, which is a very nice selfie of the 2 of us on stage, you can see how quickly that stuff grows. This is one infestation pit that we found at Markisparki space, which, yeah, is quite tremendous in size already. And if we take a look at the next slide, we have now averaged like the spore density that we measured at each of these infestation areas over the last 2 months since we started all the measurements. And you can see that this is very clearly an exponential growth, which means that it will spread even faster in the future. And this brings me to our final slide, which presents to us the actual Maelstrom Dilemma. That means this stuff is spreading. That stuff is basically turning all our world into like a dead zone, kind of, you could say. Which means that, well, we either stay here, but we will definitely lose this world. Also, we have seen that this affects at some point our habitants as well. I think some guy called Sam V Gamer showed like infections on his actual body. This does not happen to all of us, but it seems to happen to some of us, and it might happen to more of us in the future. And then the other option would obviously be to leave this world behind, which would also mean that we have to be very, very careful not to bring these spores into everything in the future with us. And our estimations are that we will have to make these decisions within the next 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's pretty serious.
Questions. couple questions here.
Yes,
So
yes.
is this 3-month time span here? Is this like a hard date or is this like flexible?
Well, we cannot say for sure.
We cannot say
Okay.
for
Like
sure.
it's an estimation.
Now, I
Okay,
have a
and-
question. Can we just dig all this stuff up, like all over the world, right? And then just drop it on Spectrum Space? Can we do that?
Well, then you would still have the problem with the spores, and they are airborne, and they will spread again.
Yes.
It's not. It's unfortunately, it's not that simple.
I think,
Well-
yeah, it's too late probably. Also, what we can see, there is no immunity to the spores whatsoever. So there's no plant that can escape from this disease. Also, I think it might be dangerous if our food is contaminated by the spores. We don't know how we would react to this. As well as if you inhale the spores, what will happen to your body. So we cannot say for sure. So that's the sad truth about this.
Well, here's the second question. Do you have a proposal for like leaving this world? Because you said, or we leave this world. Like, do you have a proposal, in mind or anything like that?
Not yet.
Ooh,
Not yet.
ooh,
Not
ooh,
yet.
ooh. Can we go to a world where things are round? Can we do that?
Well, to be honest, that is far from my field. I am not an expert on that. I'm sorry, I cannot really answer that question.
Neither am I, but I would suggest that we install baths and decontamination stations on really highly contaminated areas. So maybe we can slow down disease. But
Yeah.
I think from what we've measured, also all over the world where it doesn't seem infected, there are already quite a few spots that are entirely spread below surface, but it will break out at some point. So I fear that we cannot stop, but maybe slow down the infections.
Yeah, like decontamination food baths at each portal or something like that.
Well, so I have a suggestion, Mir. Let me know. But you have a time machine, don't you?
I do have a TARDIS. That's a time
You
and
do have a
relative
TARDIS.
dimension in space. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And you have a space station, right, Marky?
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, why don't we, Mir, you develop that plan of, your TARDIS, and Marky, you develop your plan of the space station, and that could be two options for us, if the world does have to be left.
I can phone up the doctor and see if he'll let us use it.
Okay. Okay. So you'll check on that in, Marky. What about you, man?
Working on it already. I
Okay.
cannot say for sure whether this will be finished in time though.
Okay. But at least we have a plan. We have,
Yep.
something to, work on, and I'll see about what I can do about trying to keep the Maelstrom at bay the best that I can.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
all right.
what is really important is that wherever you see all these contaminations breaking out of the floor, don't go there.
That's,
Try to avoid these areas and not spread the spores even further. Yeah.
that's like everywhere over here, though.
Yeah, your base is like different. That's true. That's why
Yeah.
it might be a good idea to have all these decontamination food baths and stuff like that when you enter your portal, for example. Having
Okay.
something like that around there. Yeah.
All right. I'll see what I can do about that. So, does that conclude your presentation?
Yes, yes.
All
That
right,
is
well-
all we can say at the moment. We will continue our scientific investigations, though, definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.